Big day here in Baltimore, and the sun is shining and the weather looks great. We've been up at the site, getting set up for a little while now. They pulled everything back. Everything has been pulled back away from the site. We're going to pan over here in just a few minutes and kind of show you guys what the site looks like now, and show you where they kind of moved everything. There has been a few patrol boats that are still out around, looking, watching the site. But we haven't seen, there's been a little bit of radio traffic, but we really haven't seen anything moving around. Let's take a look.
Yes, sir. The bridge should be on, should be over here around 1600, is what I'm told.
All right, thank you very much. Do you have ear protection? Yeah.
You got one boat cruising by, and I think that may be the pilot boat.
Thank you very much.
It's there. All the cranes, all the equipment has been pulled back away from the site. And when we get back over here, we can see the cranes. Everything staged back over there, well away from the site. Hey, you guys, thanks for joining us here at the Minorcan Mullet channel. We are live from Baltimore, where at 5 p.m. today, they're going to work on a detonation to remove this span from the bow of the Dali. We really have not seen any other action over on the ship. Everything's been quiet. The radio has been strangely quiet today as well. Now we can zoom in. Let's see if we can get the zoom set here on the camera for you guys. We can see the banding or where those charges have been set in multiple locations on that span. When we first arrived, the 533 was still there, and it looked like they may have had some equipment moving around a little bit, maybe checking some of those locations, but it is gone quiet now. They moved everything back. We'll try to jump in the chat here with you guys. And see what's going on. There we go. Guys, let me know if the picture is not satisfactory, and let me know if the audio is off. If it is, we will make some adjustments. As far as what's going on here today, this is a huge step into the process of moving the Dali and opening up the channelway to restore commerce into the Port of Baltimore. This area has been hurting now since the end of March. We noticed that a ship has come in, and it is over here at Dundalk. We're actually looking at the ship from here, and it's a combination ship that hauls both containers as well as roll-on, roll-off. We took a little look at that ship on the marine traffic app, and it's had a 9-meter draft, which is that's not a deep water draft at all. Once the crews here, Donjon gets into position after they can get the equipment in there. They're going to restore that channel down to its 54-foot charted depth and restore
Come up on the poly line.
at least the channel back to the depth where it needs to be, so that they can start getting deeper ships in and deeper ships out. Deeper, when I say deeper, I mean deeper draft vessels. Let's see, we can go in just a little bit more. Sometimes when we go in, we start to lose pixelation. We'll go in and try to take a look. Stand by, guys. Keep in mind, we are shooting from approximately 1.5 miles away from the site. We can see those areas where those charges have been placed and they've been wrapped there towards the top of the span. They're kind of hard to see in there, but there's some that are in there as well. We can also, through this image, you can really see a lot of those crushed containers are being pinned in place by the span. And once all this blows away, I'm thinking we're going to see gravity take over, and a good bit of this debris is going to go right down into the water as well. Once this section, the charges are detonated, they're expecting this to just kind of slide off the ship and go right into the water. Now there's the image that is right there in front of you guys. That is, there's a utility pole that crosses the river, and that is the base around that that really tall electrical pole, and it's kind of between us and that span.
Flag, it broke. The lower one.
You see there that there was 135 feet of clearance up to the power lines. Pretty tall indeed. But everywhere that you see those dark colored bands, those are wraps where the shape charges have been placed. Those are going to detonate, and we don't know if they're going to happen at once or whether there's going to be a sequential firing. Somebody here in the chat that's a little more familiar with the operation can probably give us some more information on that. Again, we're live here from Baltimore. This is scheduled to go off today. At 5 p.m. Hope the images are satisfactory for you guys today. Thanks, Jeff. From what we understand, the firing is going to take place at 5 p.m. today. The area's been cleared out, and we really haven't seen anything else.
Oh, this is Navy transport vessel.
Go ahead, Navy transport vessel.
Ma'am, what barge do you want us to moor up to, come in and out with passengers?
We'll have you just come on the stern of the Megan and
thanks, Lenny.
get all your
Appreciate it.
passengers on board.
Tiger is here moderating
Ma'am, thank you.
the chat again. Tiger, thanks for everything you do. The channel just got over 37,000 subscribers. We're so excited to see that happening, thanks to you guys, the Minorcan Navy, stepping up, subscribing to the channel. You guys have been phenomenal, and we really, really appreciate all the support we've gotten here. It's been, our time here in Baltimore has been very enlightening, and the community here has really received us well. Thank you, Teresa. Teresa is here with us as well. Teresa has been moderator on the channel for a very long time. Thank you, everyone that is in here today. Weather conditions right now, we are in full sun. There are a handful of clouds in the sky that we can see, but it is just a little breezy, and that wind is kind of coming right at us. The indicator that we have over here, our great big weather indicator from over at Brandon Shores, shows that condensation coming out of the stack, and it's laying down just a little bit. We do have a slight breeze blowing here across the harbor. We're expecting to see the detonation. Not sure if they're going to have a countdown on the radio. I think, I've heard that's usually a standard to hear something, maybe a siren. I don't know. We're not sure, but we're ready for whatever happens. Max, thanks so much. Everyone that is in here, we really appreciate it. The big hurdle to be prepared to move the Dali is this piece of the bridge span that is laying across the bow. And keep in mind, now there are still 4 lanes of interstate road that are up there as well. What happens when the span blows and they decide and Dali is pulled back away from that pier remains to be seen. Do they take it right into the port, or are they going to pull it back and re-anchor the vessel and continue with the removal of the bridge sections that are still that part of the roadway that's still across the ship, and clean up as much as that here where they are positioned to do that with the equipment they have on site? We are here a couple hours before the detonation is set to go off. That is timed down for
Good here with the crane. Can I dog it off?
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate that. Yeah, we got our start covering these events when the Golden Ray capsized down in Georgia. That happened in my backyard, and that's how I got started. That's where the involvement into ship salvage came about. It started with Golden Ray. I started a daily documentary, if you will. It was a video journal of what was going on out of the site. That ship rolled over in 2019, and it took them a couple years to get it straightened out, to get it pulled out. Thank you, Tiger. We are guests here of Robin. Guys, they've had some hard times here. We try to help them out as much as we can. They could use a hand. If you're able. I think Tiger just put up a Cash App. You know, if you guys can, please do. If you're able, please do. Thank you, JC. Tim, it's great to have you here with us here in the chat today. Thank you so much for joining us. And a lot of questions of what's going on with the ship when the span does come off of it. Are we going to see it pop up? Is it going to come up? There's a lot of weight, and there is a lot of weight. From that bridge span pushing down on the bow. No doubt about it. It's possible that they anticipated that and have added additional ballast. Keep in mind that they're saying that the bow is sitting in the mud where the ship is stopped. If they added additional ballast to the bow tanks to help hold it down, we might not see a big recoil when the span comes off. All that is going to be divulged at 5 o'clock. One thing we do have the advantage of is that power plant base, that concrete base there, that's a fixed spot. So if the ship moves, we should be able to very readily be able to see it by using that as a benchmark or a point of reference. I don't know, that ship holds, there's a lot of displacement from the hull of that ship. And if that weight comes off of it, you know, we may very well see it rise some. If you're just joining us, we are live from Baltimore, and we are anticipating a 5 p.m. local time for the demolition of the bridge span that's now laying across the bow of the Dali. Those sections that were over on the starboard side, the side that we cannot see of the ship, the right-hand side, have been removed by the Weeks 533 crane. The Resolve Marine Salvage Group has been here taking care of the ship, getting it ready to be moved. Donjon, another salver, is here. Their job is to remove the debris.
Your ballast is about even with the east side of the Farrow.
From the bridge. They have assembled a very large arsenal of equipment here in Baltimore, and when the task was laid out, they originally said that
Navy transport, the Douglas J.
They wanted to see the channel opened up to 35 feet by the end of April, and then by the end of May have that depth restored to its charted depth of 54 feet. Donjon came in and got their part of the bridge debris pulled out down to the 35-foot level 6 days ahead of schedule. The group that they have assembled here in Baltimore is second to none. These are professionals, and they've shown it here. Baltimore is suffering. You got to really imagine that this bustling global port has been crippled since the end of May, or excuse me, the end of March. And here we are into May, and while they are able to move some vessels in, those vessels that are coming in.
We won't be able to get off on the Pharaoh.
Yeah, Roger. Eric's over here talking to me on the Brian. He'll back away when you guys come over here.
Roger. I think Wade's going to go in first, and then we'll go in.
Scott, can you get all that Navy transporter and have them get out of the way so I can stop getting blown onto that rig right there?
Yeah, Roger.
The ships that have been coming into the Port of Baltimore and leaving are relatively shallow draft vessels. They don't have the depth greater than 35 feet. They're able to traverse where the cleanup of debris has taken place. The bigger ships that come into port, that call on Baltimore to move the world's commerce, need greater depth. They need depth down to that 50-foot mark to be able to get in and out of the port. Those ships haven't been able to get into the port, and the ships that require that amount of water are still pinned in.
Sir, we are in your stern. What side would you like us to
Now the crew,
Port side barricade.
copy that? Port side.
the crew has remained aboard the Dali, and I know that there's been some people saying, why haven't they let the crew off? You do not want those crew guys off that ship. The guys that are on there, the crew that is there, they're familiar with the ship's operation, they're familiar with the systems, they know where all the valves are, they know where the switches are, the buttons are, that are needed to maintain the ship while all this salvage operation is going on. These are the guys you want on the ship. Ship is a very complicated piece of equipment, and there are no two ships that are exactly alike. Each ship is just as individual as every human is. So those systems need to be monitored by people who are familiar with them. We've got them in place with the Dali crew where they are. Lloyd, yeah, they've been working the shrimp boat down in Georgia, and things are working great for them. Thanks for asking. Now, we did have a kayaker that we saw a couple days ago come into frame when we were watching preparations being made. And looking out here,
We're going 50 off and closing.
there may be another one that's out here, but this guy seems to be a lot closer to where we are. He may be out of the safety zone. The safety zone extends out from the ship 2,000 yards. There's also a TFR, or temporary flight restriction, around the area, 2 nautical miles out and up to 1,500 feet. None of that has changed in anticipation of today's demolition. They have not changed, they have not expanded the safety zone, nor have they expanded the TFR. So, from what we've been told, this isn't going to be a mushroom cloud of an explosion. This is a very precise, surgical cuts that are made with these charges, if you will. And from what we've been told, it's going to sound like fireworks, and we'll see puffs of smoke come out from where those charges are, and then we should see the span slip away into the
We'll be
water.
over 15 off.
Guess we're gonna line those ends up.
I need I get 25 feet.
That's pretty good, Jeff. You guys, we've had some
You got probably
a
about
lot of
7
information
sportsmanship.
that has come out of the YouTube group that we have been blessed with here in Baltimore. One is Jeff Ostruff. Jeff is in the chat. Jeff has a unique perspective of looking at many different things
another 5-6
through
feet.
an engineer's eye, and he has done a super job on his channel doing that exact thing. If you guys haven't and have the opportunity to get over and check out his channel, Tiger will put his information up, and you guys can
I got some on the
check
bow
out
here.
him, another
Getting your line
resource
out.
that we've had, and hopefully we will have him available a little later today, is Dr. Macagliano, Sal Macagliano, from What's Going On with Shipping. He has a great insight into the shipping industry. We look forward to having a visit with him today, later on, hopefully around 4 o'clock, where we'll have the opportunity to maybe talk and ask a couple questions of the good doctor. Looks like we got 8,600 here in the chat today, which is a new record for the channel. You guys that are here with us, thanks. We're all gathered here anticipating a 5 o'clock detonation of the span that's still laying across the bow of the Dali. For those that you have just joined us, they pulled everything back from a site where we had seen cranes. If you guys are familiar, we saw cranes all in this area there. Everything has been pulled back. All the assets have been staged over here. What a great shot from that American flag over with the Donjon group. This is a historic day, and it is a day that is going to help this port find restoration to economic commerce. They've been crippled here, guys. The Dali still remaining where it has since the accident. If you look there, you can see the anchor lines that are coming off the Dali. Those anchor lines were put in place to keep the stern in a fixed position. You don't want that the stern breaking loose. We've had some rather brisk winds here. We've suffered through gale force winds here on the site. We've had rain. Those anchors are there to hold the ship in place on the stern, and of course the bow is still against the pier support, and it is down in the mud from what we've been told. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Stephen, thank you so much. Guys, we are live from Baltimore. It is May the 13th, 2024. Alfred Montner is here in the channel with us. Thanks, Alfred, for joining us. Alfred, another YouTube influencer in my life. Alfred and Derek Astorino from the Food Boat out of Charleston, good buddies of mine. They both came up with me when I originally came to Baltimore Those guys were with me and helped me scout out a lot of the area. Alfred was instrumental in helping us find a location from where we're shooting at today. Derek is joining us here from the food boat. Thank both of you guys for being part of this with me.
Go on.
We were going to tie up alongside the Shannon.
In the background, you're going to hear radio transmission. We do monitor the site, VHF channels, and we mic that up for you guys as well. It's part of what we've done here since we really got started, so you guys can kind of hear the radio traffic that goes on while these guys, gals that are out here working the site. You can kind of hear what's going on. What a tremendous group of professionals that they've assembled here, and the people out here doing this work, the crews that are in here putting a hard hat on, strapping some boots on, getting out on this job, make my job easy. It's so easy to sit back and really see what they're doing. They're the ones, all the credit, if there is any, to be handed out after this horrific accident. 6 workers up on top of that bridge when it collapsed died. The guys that are out here working it, they got all 6 of those folks home. They were able to return them to their families so that hopefully they could find closure and peace. And they've gone on with the task of opening up the channel here in Baltimore. Thank you guys for being here with us. I would be amiss if I did not thank Ralph Driscoll and my good Chief Petty Officer Kirk here with me. Kirk's here with me right now. He came up to help me set up. Those guys are residents in the area, and they've adopted me. Thanks so much, guys, for being here and helping me out along the way. If you're just joining us, it's going to be 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. We have a lot of questions about when it's going to happen. It's scheduled for 5 o'clock. We have seen a couple days of delay, and the weather was not pleasant. For those of you guys that joined us here the past couple days when we were anticipating seeing the demolition, know exactly what I'm talking about. You guys sat through the rainstorms with me. During that process, though, we did get to watch those crews working out of baskets being suspended by cranes and off of man lifts, off of barges, working to place those charges up on that bridge span, and that in itself was quite the sight. Sammy, thank you so much, you guys. I'm humbled by what you guys have, by the love you guys have shown me here on the channel. We are here in Dundalk. Our position from private property gives us a pretty good, I'm sure you guys will agree, vantage point of the operation that's to follow today. I've actually been to Jimmy's a couple different times, and I do enjoy Jimmy's famous seafood here in Dundalk. Christine, that's a big question. And we've talked a little bit about that. Are we going to see the bow jump up when that weight comes off of it, or have they flooded those ballast tanks on the bow of the ship to help hold it down and damper that release of energy once that bridge span comes loose? It'll be interesting to see, and we are going to be ready to see it when it happens. If you look up the span, if you're just joining us, you can see the dark banding around some of the steel structure. Those are where the charges have been placed. That is where we are anticipating the charges. They're going to be detonated there and then cut that bridge section into pieces, and hopefully we're going to see that fall into the water. As to what happens to the ship, we're not sure. You guys are going to see it here live with me. Is the ship going to react? Do they have it ballast to damper that effect? We're going to watch and we'll find out. There is a tremendous amount of weight still on the bow of the ship. It's not only that span, but you guys also got to remember there's still 4 lanes of interstate highway laying across the bow of the ship. This is one of those occasions that I did not want to miss. This is one of those critical points in the salvage operation. I wanted to be able to bring you guys live from Baltimore. There's going to be a couple that I'm excited about that are coming up, and I'm anxious to see. The next one will be when the Dali is moved. That's going to be huge. Ship's got to be moved back so that the Donjon group can get in and start working on that debris that's in the water. The ship has got to be backed up for that to happen. Ultimately, the ship has got to be moved out of the channel. That's going to be a huge day for me when that happens. And then after that, when this channel is opened up, when it's restored to its 54-foot depth, I think is what I saw on the chart. When it's restored to that and we see a deep draft ship come through there, it'll be a day of celebration. It'll be a day of celebration for the entire Port of Baltimore when that happens. I can tell you that after we end this live stream today, this video will be available back on YouTube. And it may take an hour or two to process, but this live chat that we're having here today will be available there as well. Dale, I think you're exactly right. From what I can see through my camera, it looks like there's a good number of those containers that are just pinned in place, half on, half off the ship by the weight of that span. And when the span is cut, I think gravity is going to take over. Well, we got Jeff here in the chat. Jeff asked Ostrov, let's ask you a question. When this energy is released from the bow of the ship, when this weight that's holding the bow down, when it's released, are we going to see a big reaction from the ship? And I defer that to you, sir. The possibility that they have added ballast to the bow tanks is there to damper that effect, I would think. But there's got to be a tremendous amount of energy there on top of the ship once it's released. You would think we're going to see a reaction. I see we're approaching 10,000 viewers that are in here. Guys, I really would appreciate it, if you guys would hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the image that we're able to bring here and show you the charges. Hit that thumbs up, give us a like for the channel. That helps spread the word to the YouTube audience that we're here. We would certainly appreciate that. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. You guys that are here with us, we thank you. You've invested your time to watch, and we're going to try to do our best to bring you the best possible images that we can from the site. We're about an hour and 19 minutes away from the anticipated detonation of those charges. And we're having a good time here in the chat, just kind of talking with you guys and kind of understanding what's going on here. Everything that is out here on the site has been moved away. All the cranes, all the tugboats. Everything that we have seen out here on the site up to this date has been pulled back. There's a few patrol boats that we see in some places, but everything else has been pulled back away from the site. Quite a few of those Donjon assets right there, the American flag up on what looks to be the Oyster Bay, or maybe the Farrell. I'm not sure which crane that is, hard to tell from this angle. Definitely a Donjon asset there. That group responsible for the cleanup of the debris that's in the river. The Resolve Marine group responsible for moving the Dali and getting the ship moved out of here. It looks like they have taken some protective measures aboard the ship. A little bit of earthquake here. But it looks like they do have a little bit of protection they have placed on some of those windows there on the bridge of the ship. I got to think that the crew will be very well protected. Guys, they have a wall of containers, several containers deep between them and this span. We're shooting these images for you today from about a mile and a half away from the site here in Baltimore. But you can definitely see the wrappings there where those charges have been placed. Just about 10,000 of you guys here with us. We are about an hour and 15 minutes away from the anticipated demolition of this span. Thank you guys for being here with us. This is the reason we're here today. We're waiting to see this span taken down. And once you zoom in there, you can really see some of those containers that have taken a lot of the force of the Francis Scott Key Bridge when it fell during the accident. We know that we have seen images from Unified Command that shows portions of the bridge which have actually just gone through the deck of the ship. Part of this bridge has become part of the ship. A little bit of a breeze blowing here today. The sun is out. We have not heard anything about a delay. It looks like we are still on go for the demolition of the span in just over an hour. I'm not sure where the detonations will be set off from. Will they be set off from the ship? Are they set off remotely? I do not know. We tried to stabilize the tripod as much as we can. Guys, the breeze causes a little bit of shake. I apologize for that. You can see how that boat is kind of bobbing around, and especially the way that buoy is bobbing. We do have a slight wind blowing here across the harbor today. one of the hydraulic shears that's on a barge out here. That big piece of equipment we have seen cutting some of those huge steel beams. It's still here on site. See some other traffic moving around back there. That looks like some of the boats that are working to patrol the area. And we see some of the personnel, looks like some of the salvors, they're kind of working or walking around on the deck of one of those vessels there. Everybody here anxious for this detonation to take place, because as soon as that detonation takes place, they're going to be able to get back to work. That looks like an Army Corps of Engineers vessel coming into the frame.
Shimon up here, also Kevin Hand is here for this little evolution. We're going to be in the engine control room. They asked that you guys just hang around towards off the starboard side somewhere, I guess. No lines or anything like that, but you know, things don't go right. That when it happens.
Yes, sir. We will. We'll be fired up and ready to shift over there.
Okay. I'll keep reading on the control room if you need to talk to us or whatever. Go with that.
Sounds good, sir. Are you down there now?
No.
Okay. I was just checking the clarity. I imagine they probably have a base station down there, though.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But anyway, they said they're on schedule.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
And Captain Shimon, you got the Bridget coming to you as well.
You heard everything?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, we're closing in on the countdown of an hour. We got about an hour and 8 minutes. We are live from Baltimore, and you are with me, Captain Andy, on the Minorcan Mullet channel. Normally you would find us on our boat. We have taken refuge up on the banks of the Pataska River to be able to bring you guys some better images. And there you can see some of the Donjon group. These guys that are here are ready to get back to work, eager to open up the channel into the Port of Baltimore. They've got to get the ship moved before they can do that. Which, thanks guys for joining us.
Well, Andy, we just got devastating news. show you to you so you know I'm not making anything up to you. I just text the owner of the property. But the property manager here, she July 31st will be your last day. He is going to rent Section 8. Guaranteed rent, water bill payment. I will send you official letter. Because I told her, I said, I have a right to have this heard in court. I don't know how good it's going to be, because there's a lot of things in that house that need to be fixed. But we don't got the kind of money to move right away with. I mean, things now takes time to find a place, and then you need your down payment and your rent for the month and all that. And we've always paid on time. We always paid on time.
So why are they saying they gotta leave?
Because they want to rent this to Section 8. And you know Section 8 people.
So that's bullshit.
Yeah, Section 8 people, you know.
Putting our own people on. Yeah.
He's trying to buy.
I mean, some are decent, don't get me wrong. But most of them don't pay rent every month, even on Section 8. And 90% of Section 8 people destroy the property.
Yeah.
I got an electrical problem in here. They picked us up with 3 years ago I moved in. It blew the stove once. It just blew it again. You can't run the dryer washing machine. It blows everything in the kitchen.
Do you know the owner?
I don't know like buddy wise, but it's kind of like a buddy, but it's not like a buddy. So he wanted to come over and have cookouts with us and all that bull crap or whatever. And he seems fairly reasonable. Put it that way.
So you're dealing with the property manager right now?
Yeah, well, I just texted the owner.
Yeah.
I asked him, can he come over?
Yeah.
You know, well, see, I told him that thing. The washer and dryer getting ready to go up. He didn't say nothing to the property manager of that. He don't want to put more money into this than what he has. But here's the kicker: the county and the state's going to be taking this over for Section 8. They're going to go over this place with a fine-tooth comb.
Hey Andy, is all this getting on the
Yeah.
live?
Yeah. We'll probably just let's try to work this out here, and we'll try to see what we can figure out here.
And I just took my 81-year-old stepdad in because he got thrown into a nursing home.
He has dementia.
And he got dementia. Getting dementia. We took him because this is like on a one-level floor and everything.
They get everything we're saying right now is going out right now. We got a lot of people in here. A lot of people are concerned about robbing, and it's certainly.
If you look at the if Andy was swinging the camera around a little bit, you can look at all this that should be trimmed. All this, they don't do that. They only mow the grass. That tree has been hanging down in there for over 6 months since we had a storm. That's dangerous.
Ralph brought his gravely up here for you and mowed your grass one time.
Yeah. And there's a broken window over here they ain't fixed since last winter. Like I said, all the appliances don't work. You run to certain appliances, everything gets shut off. The seal ones, the tile and the seal ones, they're falling down. And we were hoping to save up and move by winter, spring, summer, the end of fall, if we could.
Well, let's see if we can deal with that. We'll try to see what we can deal with over there. We got mics on, and a lot of people are concerned about it. So we'll see what we can get worked out here. Guys,
I mean, it hasn't been that long. I even told her that. I said, look,
no, we have to find a place to go. We got to find someone to help us move.
I mean, no nature.
He's live, so he's trying.
My brother passed away, and I got a picture of him when he's coughing and all. But it happened beginning of the month, and I wanted to send him a flower, you know. I texted her ahead of time, let her know what was going on. She said it was okay, but still, I mean, he told us on news. It said anybody on this area, be prepared for a very.
I see it.
Yeah.
They already got the charges, I think, already in there.
Yeah, everything's ready. Everything's.
And they said they got the guys on the boat in the bottom of the boat. They said that on news just now. They said they're not moving them off. They're going to put them in the bottom.
Yeah, they'll get those guys protected.
I thought they were going to move them off. And they said, like you said, Andy, they're going to back the boat up. Once they get the charges that done, they're going to back the boat up so far, and then they're going to clear that. How long is it going to take to dig the debris down?
That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, they're gonna dig the debris out, and then they're gonna open that channel up.
Oh, White. Oh, White.
Oh, Lord.
Wouldn't it make sense to hold those men accountable for what they did? Because they
It's not
knew
them.
when
It's
they
not,
left.
It's not the employee's fault. It's the company's fault. They and the maintenance
They
people.
said
They
the
let that,
crew
no,
knew that
they-
the shit
that's-
was messed up.
He's live.
I'm
He's
sorry.
trying to.
We got a lot of people in here that are watching this today.
Oh.
Got that. It sucks.
I was just talking about the boat that hit. People might want to hear what I heard. That's all. That's why I mentioned that.
This is the bridge, Andy.
Well, great.
Hey, please don't kill all the shit.
So we got all kind of emergency alerts going on here, guys. There's a public safety alert that's just come over our phones. Operation to safely cut the steel into pieces. For your safety, we recommend using hearing protection outside if you are within 2,000 yards of the site. We're outside of the 2,000 yards. Thank you guys for being here with us. 9,000 of you here. We're now less than an hour away from anticipated detonation of this span. We've got a lot going on here, as I think a lot of you just heard. Circumstances here look like they're not great. We're going to try to help Robin out.
That's just one push of the button.
Okay. I didn't know. Right after it happens, do you want us jumping on each side of the quarter in case anything goes on, or we just wait for you to hear from you?
Yeah. Really, where we need you is the port side. If anything were to go south, so then once everything's okay, move over to the other side.
Okay, we'll be ready for that.
Okay.
See a lot of those crew members from the salvage operation have assembled. They're on top of one of the cranes. And everybody's anticipating this schedule to happen in less than an hour, 57 minutes away. We are live from...
Okay, sir, then nobody is on bridge now. We are proceeding to ECR and bridge will...
Yes, we are live. We are live from Baltimore. We are probably more live than I want to be right now. Thank you guys for joining us here. We have had to work around our schedule, alter it, dance around it quite a bit to be able to be here with you. We originally had anticipated this happening on Saturday. It got moved to Sunday. Now here we are on, hopefully, third time the charm, Monday. allowing us to be able to access the property here. They don't own the home, they're renting it, and they just got trying to make some adjustments on our end to see if we can fix this problem. Our upload speed, if you're still with us, is good. I think this is, maybe we've broken the internet here, guys. Now 51 minutes away. And show you guys what we're seeing. And show you guys what we're seeing. Awaiting the detonation of that. And our test shows it is running great. I think what's going on here. So if you're here with us and you're still having to reload the stream and see if that fixes the problem.
Brian, Peter.
That low tide is later on. They've set the detonation for 5 o'clock. We will be feed going out is good. Okay guys, the only solution I think I have at this time is let's restart the stream on my end and see if that fixes the problem. So we're going to restart and see if that fixes the problem. Now I'm getting it's coming in just clear. Are you guys, is it clearing up for you guys? I say that and we started a buffer again.
Mine's still going.
We're going to shut down and restart and see if we can clear this up. There's obviously an issue going on, spring issue that has developed here.